you for joining us. I'm Lana Zach in New York. It is just about 1 o'clock here on the East Coast. The nation is still processing yesterday's attempt on former President Trump's life as the investigation into the shooter continues. Here is what we know now at this hour. 2 people are hospitalized in critical condition following this rally. 1 rally-goer is dead. Corey Compatore. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro ordered that flags be flown at half staff in his honor, saying that Corey was the best of us, and he described how the father and firefighter jumped on top of his family to protect them.
We continue to wish for a full and speedy recovery and pray for the former president. And the Compatore family remains in our thoughts and prayers. They have some very challenging times ahead of them. They will have an empty seat at the dinner table for the rest of their lives. But we need to make sure that Corey's memory is forever a blessing. And here in Pennsylvania, we will see to it that that is the case.
Meanwhile, the FBI has identified the shooter as 20-year-old Pennsylvania man Thomas Matthew Crooks. Law enforcement officials are working to determine a motive. This morning, his home was searched and investigators found explosive materials in his car. What you're seeing here is the bomb squad on site. Authorities say that the gun used was a semi-automatic AR-15 that was purchased legally and registered to the shooter's father. The White House has been receiving regular updates on the investigation. This photo was taken this morning inside the Situation Room, and we are expecting to hear from the president early this afternoon. We are monitoring the situation. We're looking at the White House, and we will, of course, bring you those remarks live when it happens. I want to bring in now senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang. You're there at the White House. Weijia, I know you've been talking to administration officials. We understand that the president is going to be briefed again on the incident today and is expected to address the nation. What more can you tell us?
Alana, he actually was in the Situation Room with the vice president and several of his senior advisors and members of his national security team, including the national security advisor, the secretary of Homeland Security, the directors of the FBI and the Secret Service, along with the attorney general. You can see right here, he had a briefing, and he will continue, as you mentioned, to get updates throughout the day. But we also know that last night when he made remarks, sources tell me that it was completely the president who immediately, after hearing about the details of what unfolded, said that he wanted to address the nation because he felt it was important in this time to try to find some sort of unity, to try to urge for calm, and of course to absolutely condemn what happened to former President Trump. The 2 leaders also spoke by phone, and we are told by a White House official that that conversation was good, it was short, it was respectful, so not many details, Lana, but they were able to connect last night. So yes, you're right, at 1:30 he will be making remarks here at the White House from the Roosevelt Room.
And we know that last night he called the situation sick and said that he hoped to speak with Donald. He used the familiarity of his first name in that respect. This shooter is dead. There is no indication yet that this was part of anything larger, but the concern is always the potential for copycats after an incident like this. I'm wondering how this changes security around the president on the campaign trail and his schedule in the coming days.
Well, Lana, as you can imagine, whether this had happened or not, the temperature was already extremely high. And, you know, even if this weren't a campaign, the president is the most protected person in this country, if not on earth. And so the Secret Service has not said anything about additional security or a change in posture there, although we can tell you that the public entrance here to the White House in front of it has been closed off, as well as the park across the street. But when it comes to the campaign, on the other hand, and what we should expect there, we know that it has completely suspended political activity, so all outbound communications is on pause, and they quickly yanked all television advertising across the country, again, because they want to focus on President Biden, not candidate Biden, and all the political language that surrounds any candidate. So we don't know exactly when the campaign will resume its operation, but sources say that they will closely be monitoring the Republican National Convention for cues, and you know, if former President Trump continues to robustly campaign, that could be an indication that they will also resume. But again, nothing official in terms of a timeline for that.
All right, Weijia, we appreciate you being there at the White House and bringing us all the updates. Of course, we will check back in with you when President Biden does, in fact, speak later today. Thanks, Weijia.